This week, Steam is quietly dropping a whole stack of fresh indie games, and here's the wild part. Every single one of them is completely free. We're talking Cosmic Fungus, a haunted house floating in the sky, a corgi that lives on your desktop, and a game that's literally just about thinking about ships. Let's get into it. 1. Lost Vessel. Launches July 6th, 2026. So here's a question. What if an idle game actually respected your time instead of just watching numbers tick up forever? Lost Vessel drops you onto an alien world after a nasty crash landing. And instead of leaving you to stare at bars filling, it hands you combat that genuinely matters. You rebuild yourself through 5 different skills, and you pick your flavor of fighting, whether that's swinging melee, popping off ranged attacks, or leaning into void magic. And here's the part that hooks me. There's a server-wide world boss the whole community chips away at together, so everyone's fighting the same monster at once. Your progress keeps rolling even while you're completely AFK, and you can go solo, team up in co-op, or throw down in faction raids. It's free to play with no pay-to-win nonsense. Honestly, if idle RPGs usually bore you, this one is worth a real look. 2. Paper Baseball. Launches July 6th, 2026. Alright, let's shift gears completely. Paper Baseball looks almost too simple at first glance, and that is exactly the trap. It's built on the classic bulls and cows idea, where you're trying to crack a secret number before the AI cracks yours. You pick 3 or 4-digit modes, dial in one of 3 difficulty levels, and then it's just you versus a genuinely sharp AI opponent. The rules take about 10 seconds to learn. The actual strategy? That's a whole different animal. Every guess becomes a tiny puzzle where you're reading the feedback, narrowing the possibilities, and trying not to waste a single move. It's the kind of game that looks like nothing, and then quietly eats an entire afternoon before you even notice. Can you outdeduce a machine that never gets tired and never makes a mistake? If you love pure brain teasers with zero fluff, this one belongs on your list. 3. The Hollow House. Launches July 7th, 2026. Now, let's turn the lights way down. The Hollow House is a co-op first-person horror game, and the setup alone gives me chills. Picture a mysterious wooden house just hanging there, suspended high above the clouds, with something inside that very much wants you gone. Your job is to search the place, complete your objectives, and get out before the creatures hunting you close the distance. And believe me, they will close the distance. You can brave it solo if you're feeling bold, or drag your friends in with you across multiple difficulty levels, which mostly just means more people to scream with. There's something about being stranded up in the clouds with nowhere left to run that makes the dread hit completely differently. Every creak, every shadow, every objective left unfinished cranks the tension higher. Could you actually make it out without losing your nerve? If you want a proper horror night with friends, this one is calling. 4. Corgi and Woolly, Little Horizon. Launches July 9th, 2026. Okay, deep breath, because this next one is pure comfort. Corgi and Woolly, Little Horizon, sets up a tiny little pasture right in the corner of your desktop while you work or study. There's a lively sheepdog living there, herding sheep, and quietly playing beside you all day long. Here's the sweet part. Your own typing and your mouse clicks actually help the flock grow and bring the whole pasture to life. So just doing your normal everyday work slowly builds up this cozy little world. It isn't demanding your attention. It isn't screaming for engagement. It's simply a warm little companion keeping you company in the background. Honestly, in a world absolutely packed with games that want everything from you, there's something genuinely lovely about one that only wants to sit beside you. If your desktop could use a soft, calming friend, go ahead and let this little pup move in. 5. Our Wonderland. Launches July 9th, 2026. Back into the dark we go. Except this time, it's all dressed up as something beautiful. Our Wonderland is a horror fantasy visual novel about a dysfunctional friend group who get pulled back into the wish-granting Wonderland they knew as kids. Sounds sweet, right? It is absolutely not. Because this Wonderland comes with a price, and the group has to either finally face the issues tearing them apart or risk dying in horrific ways again. And again. And again. That grinding loop of failure and dread sitting underneath all that fairy tale color is exactly what makes it crawl under your skin. It's the contrast, that pretty surface hiding something rotten, that really sells the whole unsettling mood. How many times can you watch people you've grown attached to fall apart before it truly starts to get to you? If you love story-heavy horror that messes with your head, clear an entire evening for this one. 6. Project Trash. Launches July 10th, 2026. Time to lighten the mood right back up and get a little weird with it. Project Trash is a fast-paced arcade game about, of all things, sorting garbage. Stay with me, because it's way more fun than that sentence makes it sound. The whole loop is keeping your streak alive, chasing that high score, and learning to fling recyclables into the correct bins before the clock catches up to you. Simple, snappy, and secretly kind of educational. But here's the fun twist. There are strange and genuinely goofy items hidden in the pile, so you're never quite sure what's coming at you next. It's got that pure arcade energy of just one more round, one more streak, one better score. Who knew responsible recycling could turn into a full-on, panicky, high-score chase? If you want something bright, brainless in the best possible way, and perfect for quick bursts, Project Trash is a delightful little palate cleanser. 7. Mycelium Conquest. Mitosis. Launches July 10th, 2026. Now this one is gloriously strange, and I mean that as the highest compliment. Mycelium Conquest, Mitosis, is a free co-op automation game where you and up to 3 friends grow a living mycelial network across an alien planet. So yeah, you're basically playing as fungus, and it rules. You consume the local creatures, build out biological production chains, and slowly evolve from one tiny little spore into a full-blown cosmic entity. Together. There's something so satisfying about that sheer scale, starting as basically nothing and building this sprawling organic web that eventually swallows a whole world. And doing it with friends means the entire thing becomes this shared, spreading beast that you're all feeding at once. If you love automation games but you're tired of the same old factories and conveyor belts, this biological spin feels genuinely fresh. Grab a couple friends, become the fungus, and take over a planet. What's not to love? 8. Shipyard of Theseus. Launches July 10th, 2026. And to close things out, something wonderfully mysterious. Shipyard of Theseus describes itself with just a single line. A game about thinking about ships. That's it. That's the entire pitch, and honestly, I kind of love how bold that is. In a world full of trailers that scream 40 features at you all at once, here's a game that just quietly hands you an idea and lets your imagination do the rest of the work. The name itself nods at that famous old thought experiment, the one asking whether a thing is still the same thing once every single piece of it has been replaced. So you can already feel that reflective, slightly philosophical mood baked right into the concept. I don't want to overpromise mechanics I haven't seen, but the vibe here reads calm, curious, and a little bit poetic. If you enjoy a game that's more of a quiet question than a loud answer, this cryptic little thing is absolutely worth a peek. That's 8 fresh indie launches this week, and every last one of them is free. So there's genuinely no excuse not to try a couple. If any of these caught your eye, do the devs a solid and toss them a wish list. It really does help these tiny teams get noticed. And if you want more roundups like this every week, hit subscribe and stick around. See you in the next one.